A teacher is not an ordinary person. He is responsible for emergence and prosperity of a nation. A teacher, in true sense, is a creator. He is behind development of fundamentals and a force which transforms knowledge in real-world solutions. While Aristotle's teachings made Alexander the Great, Chanakya guidance helped Chandragupta to be the first emperor to unify most of India under one administration. New problems call for new solutions. Our determination to become Atmanirbhar Bharat cannot be true unless we give our best at root level. This episode is dedicated not only to the known teachers, but many unknown teachers who have served mankind through their sheer dedication, selflessness, and great contribution. Through this episode, we want to celebrate the essence of a teacher in true sense. And joining us today in this celebration in Vyap's Growth Series is Mr. Ashok Pandey, the director of Alcon Group of Schools. Ashok, with over 3 decades of experience, has been instrumental through his contribution in school education. Welcome, Mr. Ashok.
Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj, for a very nice and kind introduction, not only to me personally, but to the entire teaching community. I'm absolutely humbled and delighted that you hold such fine, noble views about the teachers and their contribution in the society. Thank you, Pankaj.
We start with our first curiosity. And our first curiosity is, in this changing world, how should schools and children prepare themselves to respond better in prevailing conditions?
Yeah, Pankaj, so I guess you are referring to the pandemic. You are
Correct.
referring to the closure of schools. You are referring to the isolation in which our children are put in, much against their wishes. And you are also referring to the a lot of missing syndrome that the children are suffering from. Many people think that the schools are not doing a great job, but let me tell you, this is the time when parents have realized for the first time what a great job teachers do in the schools. So what is happening is teachers are missing their children. Teachers are also missing their schools because they are also locked in the houses. And children, of course, are missing the campus, the corridor, the fights, the sharing, and the tiffins and plays, and a lot of socialization. People have a feeling that children go only to learn their lessons in the school, but they often forget the social function that the schools do on a daily basis. So yes, you are very right. And the best thing is that whatever means it is possible, teachers and students have to connect with each other. So connection is the one thing. The second thing is not only just go and pour out your knowledge of cognitive mathematics and sociology and history, but I think it is about social well-being. It is about how you are. It is about how you're coping up. It is about taking the children out of their fear, their anxiety. Some of them may be traumatized. They may not be able to express it. Imagine a child locked in the house and the parents are also there. Maybe the parents are working now in the unlockdown, but the preceding 3 months, everybody locked down. Family is having a different set of problems. So I think it was a very challenging situation. And 2 or 3 things I can tell you, Pankaj. One, I said connectivity between schools and the children, connectivity within the family. The parents must utilize this opportunity to talk to the children about their own stories, how they deal with the problems, how they have come up a long way in their own life, how did they cope up with the failures, how did they cope up with the crises that they must have faced in their life at one stage or the other. And of course, allow the children to take part in the house chores. They should learn a lot of new skills. They should read new books. They should learn the stories of valor, kindness, resilience. I think these are some of the things that children should be encouraged and allowed to do so that they come out of the fear, number one, and number two, learn new skills.
Okay, so when we talk about learning new skills, But my second curiosity also comes from the first only, because we have always been in a society wherein which is more of a touch and feel kind of society. We have never been in such kind of an isolation ever. Um, uh, so how do you think that? And we are already seeing the ill effects of the only virtual education in terms of mental health and anxiety levels. In our earlier episode, we had the psychologist talking about the mental health condition, and she vividly talked about the mental health of not only the children but also to teachers and also the parents about all these kind of only virtual education. What do you think the students should do to minimize it?
Yeah, Pankaj, I will. This is a wonderful question you have raised, but I'm just putting two or three caveats to it before I come to the answer. Touch and feel society, but are we not already isolated with our own devices? We have seen images of entire families sitting on the dining table but busy with their own mobile phones. We have been a society obsessed with likes on the Facebook and other social media. So I think this should be treated as a blessing in disguise, that those false narratives of being connected through social media can be converted into a reality today. So that is one challenge that all of us have. And also a reality check that we were connected, we have got thousands of followers, but are those followers concerned about each other? Are they now calling each other and finding out how you are, how are you coping, your studies, maybe your food, your grocery, your provisions? You see, are you sick? Are you having fever? How are the elder members in your family? I think this is where this society has come to. And as I said earlier, the virtual learning should be taken, in my opinion, as one of the most virtuous things in this pandemic. You just imagine if we did not have technology and if we did not have any means to connect virtually, what would have happened to us? Today, we are finding out how many people are suffering from mental health. In the absence of technology, we would have lost count of mental health just as the count of coronavirus affected people. Just imagine that. So I would suggest that let us count our blessings and let us make the best of this situation. And I think for teachers and students, the happiest part is, at least for those who have access to technology, that they can do almost everything. I'm saying almost everything with a very clear sense of responsibility to connect with each other, to learn, to play, to have group activities, to share videos, take responses, take feedback, create your own podcast, ask children to make their videos. As a teacher, I know what all amazing things children and teachers all over the world are doing, Pankaj. They are conducting virtual assemblies. So morning invocation of prayer, celebration of the Jayantis, as we call it, celebration of birthdays, yoga, exercises, meditation. All these things are possible with a very minimal effort. And I would suggest that the schools must not shy away. But as I said in the beginning, a large number of our students do not have access to technology of the high order. And therefore, my suggestion is whatever the minimum order of technology available, SMS, voice over, WhatsApp applications, they should remain connected. Connectivity and talking to each other is the greatest panacea in this pandemic. At least this I have realized in the past 3 months.
Through your suggestions and probably the kind of shared thoughts, you have given a new dimension of thinking. When you talked about that, just imagine when this virtual world was not there, it would have been very difficult for us to connect. And just imagine at that point of time, what would have been the mental state of parents, teachers, and the students. They've given us a new dimension to think that obviously, there are a lot of possibilities even in the virtual world as we remain connected, and we think that that obviously we can live in a society which is more of the real plus virtual world mixed kind of a society.
Yeah, Pankaj, if you just allow me a minute to come in, all such situations in the history of humankind have been an opportunity for innovation and transformation. You see, 2 centuries ago, a famine came and the locomotion through horses stopped because men, women, and horses all starved. There was no food. And that gave an idea to a German scientist to invent the bicycle. And it was in the beginning called as laughing machine because people used to laugh at it. You see, and that is how bicycle came, because horses could not transport people from place X to place Y. I think this word of technology and the kind of resilience and the kind of adaptation which the people have shown, I think it is going to do something very good once we are passing through this crisis.
Okay. Uh, you rightly talked about that we need to have that resilience once we start passing through this crisis and to get out of it really well. My
Absolutely.
third curiosity also comes from this the part of the solution only, that how do you see the growth of young and talented teachers as part of school education, because I think we have a great young workforce available with us, and we have in the recent past we have not seen a lot of young teachers who want to be a part of school education. How do you see to this, and what is your message to these young and talented folks to be a part of school education and shaping the future of our
Yes.
region?
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. Two things. Let me tell you first. Of course, I agree with you. You have been very generous and mild in saying it, but let me be a little more upfront. That is, school teaching has not been the first choice of some of the brightest of our youngsters. So I will not go into details of that. That might consume a lot of time. But all I am saying is that is, school teaching, I can tell you with my experience, is one of the most rewarding careers. And I can also share with you some of the best countries in the world who are economically developed, who have the finest record of being a happy country. The first 10 to 15% of toppers from the colleges and universities, they go into teaching profession in the schools. In fact, I'll tell you, in Finland, the toppers who go to teaching, their first teaching assignment is in the same school from where they got their schooling from. Such is the history. And in India, the Guru Shishya Parampara, the respect for the teacher, our first, not first, our teacher, philosopher, president, Dr. Radha Krishnan, he always said that the best of the minds must come into teaching. So I come from that philosophy, and I urge the young generation to choose teaching. Now, what you have to do is, number one, come to the teaching not only for a job or a career. Come with a mission for nation building, because you will come as an architect of the future of this nation and humanity. If that is the motivation, and as we call jazba, I think that is a better expression for that, then you are going to make a lasting contribution. This is number one. Number two, now we are into fourth generation of industrial revolution. Now you are into the era of technology. This COVID has suggested and endorsed that if you do not have access to technology, and if you do not have proficiency in technology, you will be replaced by anyone, anytime, anywhere. And therefore, the teachers today must come with a professional weapon of being first-rate communicators, open-minded, lot of empathy, and service to the young boys and girls. And if you are having some proficiency in the teaching, you be a content designer, you be a subject matter expert, you be a video creator, you develop a lot of thoughts on what should be the flexible wide spread assessment for the children, how to bring in cognitive skills and socio-emotional skills, character building into the narrative of our education. If you develop those thoughts, I think you will be lapped up by any employer and you will become the darling of the entire nation. That is what I'm going to suggest to the young boys and girls and college graduates who are looking for various careers.
I think, Mr. Pandey, the narrative what you put across, that these new folks or young and talented teachers should be a part of the school education, because it would help in nation building. I
Yes.
think somewhere it was always there in our minds, but it was never expressed, never said. We always
Absolutely.
felt that it is more about the corporate or other people who are doing to do about the nation building. But the root cause of our society to grow, that's our schools.
Yes.
If they can flourish more, if they can have good students in terms of education in terms of solving problems, because we are getting a lot of problems across the world. So maybe a solution mindset is going to help these students to grow further.
I think the youngsters, right from the beginning, training themselves, becoming professionals, getting recruited and retained, and their professional growth is ensured like any other professional growth in any other walk of life. I think the brightness coming from there will brighten the future of education in this country.
Fair enough. So you talked about all these bright students and the kind of brightness they are going to bring for our nation. My fourth curiosity comes from something which is a little personal, might be personal to you. Was teaching your inner calling or an opportunity that came your way? And can you share some incidences which may inspire youth to come up and devote their life in school education?
Oh, absolutely. I would have been very disappointed, Pankaj, if you had not asked me this question. I'm a product of Allahabad University, and that too, the late 70s or early 80s. And you can understand Allahabad University was always known for producing civil servants in all branches and all that. But I had a professor, late Professor Vipin Kumar Agrawal, who was a physicist, he was a poet, he was a storyteller. He had written 20 books in physics and 50 books on other aspects of life. I joined research with him. And one fine morning, he said that, Ashok, do you know that challenge of life lies in dealing with young minds? And sir, I said, yes, sir, I know it, but I have not understood the context in which you have said it. And then he said, are you interested in teaching? I said, of course. Because I was taking some classes on his behalf. I was a school monitor in my school, and my time, the school monitors used to do half of the teachers' work. What a wonderful philosophy that was. So I said, yes, sir, I'm excited about it. And next morning, he invited me over to breakfast in his house, where a colonel from the army, a towering, fearful personality, and I was introduced to him, and he said that I have come to take you from Allahabad to Gurgaon. Are you interested in coming? I said, yes, sir. I was a young, graduate from Allahabad University, and I had no fear in my mind. I was adventurous. I said, yes, sir. Tell me when to come. And next evening, or maybe 2 days early in the morning, I was in his school. I became a teacher. I started teaching, and within 1 year, Pankaj, I realized, why do I have to think about any other career? I enjoyed my life with the children. It was a residential school, luckily. So 24 hours with children. I knew what is the psychology, what is they like, what is they dislike, how do they learn, how do they play. And that brought in me that I think I am cut out in my life to be a teacher. And that is how I forgot about all the options in my life. Though I had a lot of challenge from my friends, family, everybody who had some aspiration from me. And so to cut this story short, that is how I began my career. And then I was very lucky. I got wonderful students who taught me how to be a good teacher, and wonderful mentors as to how to progress in my pathway to be a good teacher, to be a useful teacher. and later on to be a useful leader in the industry. And that is how the whole journey began. And when I look back to 30 years, 32 years, I am simply aghast at this journey. And I can tell you, and if it is inspiring for the viewers, that teaching profession has given me almost everything that as a human being I could aspire for.
So you mean to say that there should be a lot of youth coming in this education sector, and
Absolutely. When I became the principal, Pankaj, after 12 or 13 years of my teaching, I set out 2 or 3 targets for myself. Target number 1, any youngster who is coming for a job, give him an opportunity, recruit him, retain him, encourage him, and convert him into a first-rate teacher. My slogan is, from first day to first-rate teacher. That is one thing that I pursued in my life. I'm continuing to pursue it. And number 2, I encourage people after doing 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, go and be a leader. So because you want to grow in life. And the growth in life, I have learned and I share it with the people. One growth is your mobility, positional growth. But I think that is incomplete if you do not grow as a person. If you do not grow as a person who gives something to the society, who learns, and who becomes a useful member of the entire community. So that is what my suggestion to the youngster is.
So profound perspectives, Mr. Pandey, and it was really wonderful having you with us. In fact, the kind of growth you're talking about in school education is really great, and you are talking with a lot of opportunities coming in. You're talking about newer minds and brilliant minds, part of school education, teaching and shaping the society and helping towards nation building. So you have given a new dimension and new perspective of school education, school teaching. I'm sure a lot of people would be excited and inspired by your interaction in Vyap School series. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj, for conceiving this wonderful concept. It is growth oriented. It brings in optimism. You call hope. And of course, it is all encompassing, like the name you have for your organization, Vyap. I think these philosophies, these thoughts must become Vyapak through Vyap. So thank you very much for inviting me to your show.
Thank you.